Still will cost Trigger 12 probes, but again, he had that economic advantage. And he defends. Trigger, he successfully defends. And there it is. GG gets called. SKillous, he runs out of steam, and Trigger, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Whew. As Trigger does take the initial game, does take a lead in the series. Again, SKillous, he was completely all in, but the all in did fail. Trigger barely holding on, had the faster 4th base, the higher probe count. He had +2 and +3 on the way as well. SKillous was on a timer, and again, we saw that Trigger, he was able to get a better initial concave. The shield batteries came into play, of course, as well, and Trigger, he barely held on. GG. It was close. It was very close. GG, well played. Trigger takes the lead in the series, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. As I'm catching up with the chat, are these 2 matches played at the same time? Yes. And also, is this pre-recorded? No. As the shout out to Cashin for responding, of course. We never do anything pre-recorded. I think Wardy does some pre-recorded stuff, but that is something we don't do here on the CranKy Ducklings. We don't like pre-record. If we do have a replay cast, it is stated in the title of the stream, so it'll say like Sparkly Tuna Cup replay cast. We've never done that either, but if we ever do like a replay cast of an event, it says replay cast in the title. This is live. And again, the way that the quarterfinals is going to work here is that we're going to be casting 2 series or covering 2 series at the same time. For those that are curious, for those that want to tune into Classic versus Cristiano, which is happening at the same time as this series, Indy, I mentioned earlier, but Indy, he's the Polish caster. He is casting at the same time. He is covering the Cristiano versus Classic series. So Indy, he's got you covered with the other PvP. We have you covered with Trigger and SKillous. So both matches are happening at the same time, and there are 2 separate casts covering those matches as well. But yes, can confirm, chat is pre-recorded. Cap. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the teal Protoss player. We have the Canadian Protoss representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player for Team Liquid. It is SKillous. Here we go. Oh, as it is SKillous. I do apologize, it looks like the YouTube stream did drop. I do know there was some issues with it earlier, so I do apologize. Looks like there's going to be a second VOD for YouTube. Aye. It's marriage, papi, it's marriage. As we are getting into game two, once again, 2-gate opener out of versus 2-gate opener. We do see SKillous once again going for the gateways further back here, closer to the Nexus. Once again, this means that the wall off here at the ramp is going to be delayed, and this does give an opportunity here for a Trigger to get some damage done with the depths. So depth harass is going to be an option here. As the gateways are being thrown down. Trigger actually opting not to probe scout. Very interesting. So no probe scout at a Trigger, so he's blindly going to be opening up, but blindly going to be settling in. For all he knows, there could be a missing pylon, there could be a proxy, so this is a very risky maneuver here from Trigger, especially on Winter Madness, a map that is quite large and I would say known for proxies. There's a lot of proxy locations. Trigger, the Gamba is real. Gamba is real. SKillous, of course, scouts. He confirms both pylons are in the main base, so SKillous will eventually confirm the opener of choice. It's going to be a Stalker Adept out of Trigger. Meanwhile, SKillous opening up Stargate. Stargate before Nexus, so delayed expansion, faster tech, faster Oracle harass. Trigger also going for his own Stargate opener, and no one scouts each other. What I mean by that is that Trigger, of course, no probe scout, but SKillous, his probe gets zoned away, so SKillous doesn't see what's happening either. They're blindly going Stargate, and they should blindly go Oracle as a result, and blindly looking for damage. Oh boy. Everyone's blind, Pat. I mean, SKillous less so than Trigger, but neither player is fully aware of what the other's up to. Trigger with the slightly faster Nexus, only slightly. And things are about to get chaotic. About to get crazy. Here we go. Here come the oracles again. Oracle for Trigger, Oracle for SKillous. If either player had scouted each other and confirmed the tech of choice, then we would be seeing a Phoenix. A Phoenix could hard counter the Oracle, gain map control, and take a massive lead. But because no one knows what's going on, both players are blindly opening up Oracle. Now we do see SKillous with a shield battery here at the natural. He does fully wall off with the battery here in the main base. It should be a cancellation. But what I'm getting at is that there's no battery in the mineral line. So there's nothing to defend and nothing to protect those workers. First Oracle moves out with both players. No one has a shield battery in position. Trigger does have his stalkers ready in the main, and they find each other. Yeah, they do come across each other. Technically, one of them could be a hallucination, but for the most part, they should take this seriously. Phoenix production has begun, and Trigger, he's keeping up with the first Oracle. And Trigger is in position. So is SKillous. And the Oracle so far, they find 0 damage. The Oracle steps in. Oh, gonna be zoned away. And from here, the game will continue. Trigger, he does make a Phoenix behind this. But did he cancel? Oh. He did. Okay, so Trigger, he cancels the Phoenix. So does SKillous. The reason for this, if you notice, Trigger did scout the Stargate. Did confirm there was nothing else in production. So no one makes a Phoenix, just a single Oracle, and so far neither one has paid for itself. Oh, Oracle's zoned away. Oh, SKillous, oh, he rallies in. Yeah, SKillous rallies in. Late reaction, and SKillous, he barely gets away, but takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. Ay, ay, ay. Now, thankfully, SKillous does keep the Oracle alive, but does keep it alive, but does take a lot of hull damage. Pulls away. How can you pre-record live games? We'll find a way, Bobby. We'll find a way. So here we're pulling away, we're backing up. Trigger the first to expand. Nice cheeky stasis trap here to delay the expansion. Oh! Okay, catching out the stalkers. SKillous cannot take the Nexus. Technically, it could try to expand here towards the center of the map, but it would be such a difficult base to maintain. And SKillous, he's contained on 2 bases. SKillous is contained. A Trigger over time, gaining that economic lead. Needs a little bit more time. Third base is on the way. And SKillous, he could make a choice here to throw down extra gateways and go into a 2-base all-in, but no, he goes for a delayed third base. But he's moving out. He's applying pressure. He needs to. The pressure is on SKillous. He has to find some damage. Checking the unit count here, we do have a slight Stalker lead here for SKillous. Stasis Trap is on the way. The Oracle for Triggers across the map, not at home to defend. So no defensive Stasis Trap. Ooh, nice snipe. Snipes a shield battery, that was a kill, not a cancel. Slightly bit of concave for SKillous. Better concave, kills one of the Stalkers. Nice snipe. Going for the pylon as well. Overall, decent pickups. This is nice and all, but still not enough. SKillous so far just bleeding back Trigger. Oracle across the map. Ooh, finding no damage. There was a Stasis Trap in the mineral line. Yeah, Stasis Trap did catch 3 probes. At the same time, Stasis Trap here into the natural. Trigger pulls away, losing 3 probes. Oh my god, almost baited in. Casito. Almost baited into the stasis. And as it all settles, Trigger, he does defend. He defends, he holds onto his third base. SKillous is catching up in the worker count. Remember, he did kill 3 probes. Up. Trigger does catch 2 workers here at the natural. The economies are evening up. I say evening up, SKillous does take a worker lead. We're calming down. We're calming down, building up our gateway armies. Charge on the way, +1. Trigger, he has yet to begin his own charge. Bear that in mind. No charge yet. Oh, even made a safety Void Rage. I did miss that. I don't know if that was... okay. So Trigger, he was a little bit terrified. Void Rays, they do have their place in PvP as a defensive tool early on, but here in the mid-game, it doesn't really have too much uses. You could argue it could try to zone away and hunt down the Oracle or shut down a Warp Prism, but yeah, not ideal. Just when it comes to how much value the unit can give you in this kind of game state. Still no charge at a trigger, so he's focusing on a purely Stalker composition. Purely being Stalkers, taking extra gases as well. Meanwhile, SKillous is staying on a lower gas count to afford more charge lots. Meanwhile, Trigger trying to keep up. Stalkers, they do push in towards the natural. And they're moving in. Stalkers, they try to get into the middle line. Nicely powering. Delays +2. Yeah, Trigger just out of position. Trigger gets caught out. Nice use of stasis traps once again, catching out Trigger. SKillous pokes in, pulls away. Oh. So slips into the third. Nice damage. Important to note as well that Trigger, of course, he scouts a lack of gases, so he's aware of the composition. I believe we would have seen the charges previously anyway. As I'll say, peel off for a run by. They're ready on the right hand side. Oh, those are slow lots. Now I had assumed that it was intentional that Trigger. I mean, he took his gases, but I guess just trying to spend his money. We got some slow lots in the mix. Let's go. It might not be intentional that Trigger didn't get charged, which is a little bit awkward. I mean, they can still be of some use here, especially defensively. Obviously, SKillous' army is going to be pushing into Trigger. But there it is. Charges on the way. Very delayed, very late. But so far, at least Trigger isn't punished for it. As he does maintain his fourth. Both players getting up to 4 bases. Building up the armies. Trigger again, actually both players have a comparable Stalker count. Trigger with slightly more Zealots. Upgrades are even. +3 has begun for both players. Oh! Nice aces. Very nice. Yeah, catching out 6 Stalkers. But the Oracle finally goes down. This is buying time though. SKillous, he has time. No defensive shield batteries. No batteries at the third. The cannons may help. See SKillous setting up for a surround or a flank. Never mind, actually going for a run by. Okay, bold move. He's moving out. And catching up the slow lots. Nice big offs here by SKillous. Massive Zealot army making its way towards the 4th base. Trigger is not ready for this. Charge finally does finish up, but SKillous, he hits the 3rd, but the 4th even. Picks up some workers, distracts Trigger, main army moves in. So far, they're good reactions. Trigger, he does preserve the most of his workers. Nice reaction. So far, so good. Once again, SKillous setting up another run by, another counterattack. You have Zealots top right and bottom left. The Zealots are everywhere. Oh. This Trigger goes to the dive. I mean, Trigger's main army is stronger, is larger just because of all the run bys. But Trigger is forced back home. He's going to be forced back. There's the recall. So far, so good. The Trigger. So far as keeping up. It's keeping up, he's maxing out, +3 is finishing up. SKillous with them is purely a Stalker army. And SKillous, he throws away a lot of Zealots. That's why he does plummet supply. He threw away all of his charge lots, and what did he really achieve? He killed a handful of probes. That was not worth it. It's not worth it, Batty. Okay, this is Trigger's moment. Bearing in mind, recall is now on cooldown, so that might factor in, at least in the near future. As recall was just used defensively. Skill's going for a massive rotation, at least trying to. Skill's being forced back. Oh! He's turned away. We're still even on upgrades. Oh, we have Trigger with the second Forge, getting into +1 shields and armor. There's going to be a window he's going to be up in those upgrades. As Trigger finally gets across the map. He's been trying for the past couple of minutes. Every time he's moved out, he's been forced to turn back around. But finally just going straight down mid, going straight for the 4th. Headed towards the 5th. Skillous, it's his turn to be out of position. Yeah, depowers the shield battery. Skillous coming from behind. Does try to move in. Ooh. Denies the warp in. But the Immortals are exposed, and the first things to go down. Yeah, it takes down the Immortals. Ooh, barely does not save them. But Trigger still has a massive supply lead here. Still up in that Gateway army. And gets a base. Snipes expansion. Pulls away. Both players building up into disruptors. Jeez, that's a lot of shield. That's a lot of batteries. They didn't come into play. And so far, momentum is on Trigger's side. Speaking of upgrades, now working on 2-2. 2-2 upgrades on the way. He's up a base, more efficient mining for Trigger. Now, I will say that Trigger does have a very nice lead and he does have momentum. That is true, but disruptors can still change things. You can be down in supply and still take a better fight. All comes down to you know this. Depending on the army control, there is an opportunity here for Skillous to recover. As he's making 2 disruptors at a time. He's going to have a lot of bullets back. Show us the Novas. Do we have detection? Okay, thankfully we do. Observers of the main army. God. Thankfully. Dark Templar dealt with. Skillous, he's distracted. Trigger going straight down mid, straight for the 3rd. And it's going to go down. Yeah, Skillous is out of position. Down goes the Nexus. Shields never. Oh! Never goes up. Ooh, bit of friendly fire. But does zone the army away. And Trigger got what he wanted. Got what he wanted. Got the expansion. DTs, they paid for themselves. It's not about what they killed, but it's about the distraction they caused. Did distract. Oh! Decent. Nova's out of Skillous. And Novas are connecting. Takes down the disruptor as well. Very nice. Skillous with a better fight. And Skillous now up to 5 disruptors. But again, he has to keep going. Remember, Skillous, he's down in upgrades, down in economy. He has to press his advantage. With that disruptor lead, he can force the issue here. Oh. Jesus. Calm down. As Novas is zoning away. Oh. Does connect with the Immortal. Disruptors are exposed, and he's going to lose all 5. Oh my god, massive connections. Yeah, Novas do connect. Skillous is moving in. Blinks forward, and he does catch the disruptors as well. Yeah, miss rally there from Trigger. Rallies into Skillous. And he can do it. Gets a base. These Novas, they do connect. Yeah, some brutal connections. And lackluster out of Trigger. And despite Trigger having the upgrades, having the bases. Oh no! Oh my god! Oh no, never mind. Trigger, he connects. He's holding on. He's holding on, Pappy. And Trigger, he will lose another disruptor. Yeah, down to 1. Another does barely spawn in. Nice connection, goes to the disruptor. Takes down the disruptor. Trigger barely holding on. Does have shield batteries. And he has the defender's advantage. Faster warp in. Cells take him in from behind. And Skillous getting caught out. He does overextend. How many disruptors are left? 0! 0 disruptors. There's no production. Yeah, no disruptors left here for Skillous. That was his way back in. It was the way. Yeah, just now starting up. His production, his macro did slip. Yeah, no reinforcing disruptors. Yeah, the game just getting a little bit too chaotic here. And SKillous bleeding out Stalkers, trading Stalkers for Zealots. Brutal trades here for SKillous. Does get the Prism. Aye, aye, aye. And SKillous just being pulled apart. Now, technically, once again, just like we spoke about this, what, 5 minutes ago, with Disruptors, SKillous can still recover. Like, things have gone very chaotic, but Disruptors are good. Can they be that good? As he will lose 11 probes. Again, SKillous' economy is in shambles. Trigger has a fresh mining base. He's got two Novas. Both players do. First one goes off. Each player, they have one left. Yeah, no major connections. Mainly just owning. SKillous rotating over, trying to do something about the economy. And may get the expansion. Denies the warp in. Nicely done. He has a high ground. Nova goes up. Decent connection. He's just zoning Trigger away. Oof, even catching a Disruptor. Okay, let's go. The Novas have been popping up. Decent Novas with Trigger. He goes to the dive. He dives in, catching up the army. Oh! Takes on cooldown. Just not coming off. And these were some nice moves. Nice recoil as well. Saves all the Disruptors. 17 probe kills and a base. Skill still has a deficit. But overall, that was a better trade. But is it enough? Trigger, he's not stopping. He's not stopping. Might be the Nova goes off. Oh, catching 2 Disruptors. Ah, no. SKillous, he has 1 left. There's 1 Nova left. And Trigger rotates to the low ground. Will lose 1 of his own Disruptors. But he's got 2 more models behind this. Again, better upgrades, better army. And Trigger, he's out of GG, gets called. Trigger, he overwhelms the army, and Trigger, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Trigger. He will claim the series. A very intense back and forth. Winding it back, if you recall, SKillous, he was so committed early on, and he was finding some damage. If you remember, he had initially the supply lead. He had all those Zealots. He was going for run-bys, counterattacks, but he failed to really get any damage done. He was able to sit by with some Zealots, but every time he'd only get a handful of probes. In the end, Trigger, he had time to react, to respond, to recall, to reposition, to pull the workers away, and Trigger just had more efficient engagements, at least in the first half of the game, leading into that supply lead, leading into the upgrade lead eventually as well. As Trigger, he was able to just brute force the issue, break out across the map. SKillous did have the comeback though, of course. Once he got into his double Disruptor production, he did have some nice connections, did have a comeback. Then we got into a very messy back and forth. Very messy back and forth. But in the end, Trigger, he still had the better upgrades and still had more bases, still had that economic lead. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to Trigger. He's able to advance on, and let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed. For those that are maybe tuning in for the first time, I do apologize for the abrupt start of the broadcast. We just dove right into the game itself without really discussing the tournament, but welcome to the Sparkling Tuna Cup 2025 December Finals. We've been running the Sparkling Tuna Cup for many years at this point. Fun fact, this tournament, this Open Cup is the longest running Open Cup currently in StarCraft. It's the longest running Open Cup. Oh. As so we're heading over to the Korean server. One moment. But yes, we've been running the events for many years at this point, longer than like the Wardy TV Mondays or the Monday Night Weeklies or the Pigstar Cups, for example. This is the longest running event only because of the hiatus or the end of the ESL Open Cups, for example, which were running a lot longer than our events. But for now, longest standing, at least when it comes to Open Cups. And this is the monthly finals. This is a weekly tournament, typically a weekly Open Cup. And throughout the course of the Open Cups, players, they accumulate points over the course of the month, leading into the monthly finals, where we have our top 8. Our top 8 players of the month of December. We have Christiana, Classic, Trigger, SKillous, Percival, ByuN, and Nicaract. We have our top 8 players for the month, and we have results coming in. So Trigger takes down SKillous 2-0, and very quickly, I believe the other match has concluded as well, referring to Christiana and Classic. Again, that was being covered by Indy over on his channel. But yes, we have confirmation. Classic did take down Christiana 2-0, so we have Classic versus Trigger in the upper semifinals. But they're going to be on hold. They're going to be on hold because now it's time for the lower quarterfinal matches. Now it's time for the TVTs of Percival versus ByuN and ByuN versus Nicaract. Let's go. Let us go. As you can see here, just because of seeding, by the way, I would phone out of the admins, but it is purely because of seeding. We have a Protoss half and we have the Terran half. So a lot of mirror matchups early on. I mean, I say early on, mirror matchups up until the finals. At least it confirms that there's no mirror matchup in the finals, but we have pure PvPs and pure TBTs to determine the best Protoss and best Terran of the month of December coming into the finals. Not like this. Not like this. But here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness. Winter Madness. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player, the South Korean Terran, representing Team Vitality. It is ByuN. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our TVT. Best of luck, baby. Best of luck. Now, as a reminder, we have 2 matches happening at the same time. We have Percival versus ByuN, which we are casting, and we also have ByuN versus Nicaract, which Indy is casting. Again, if you don't know who Indy is, Indy, baby, Indy. He's a turkey. But he's lovely. Shema, papi, Shema. Indy, he's casting in Polish. He is the Polish caster currently. You know, F's in the chat for Emil. Emil, he DC'd one too many times, and Indy has kind of taken that mantle as the Polish caster in StarCraft. So Indy is going to be covering ByuN versus Nicaract, and we'll catch up in the semifinals. Eventually, we'll catch up. Both semis will be casted on this channel, by the way. We'll be joining forces for the semis and finals thereafter. Bearing in mind, of course, is a best of 3. The semifinals will be best of 5s. We'll get there. We will get there. So now we have a double gas opener out of Percival, likewise double gas out of ByuN. Double gas openers all around. With this, faster factory, delayed CC out of our 2 players so far, mirrored builds. Just catching up in the chat. Oh, sorry. So it happened during the game itself, but a big shout to Babylings. Do apologize. I was so engrossed in the game itself, so I do apologize. But big shout to Babylings for the raid. Hold on. Slash shout out at Babylings. I hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great time playing Expedition 33. Hope you had a great time. I love the soundtrack, by the way. I love the soundtrack of Expedition 33. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I hope you had a great time, and welcome one and all to the December finals for Sparkling Tuna Cup. Again, the final Tuna Cup of 2025. Let's go. Let us go. Otherwise, we are going to be moving out with the initial 2 Reapers. CC is going to be on location for both players as well, and we'll see what ByuN can get done here. It is typically risky to move out with your Reapers early on, but he does avoid the main scouting path here. Does avoid Percival's units, and he might be able to slip into the main. Might find some damage. Percival pokes out. He's here halfway across the map. Moves out with reinforcing Reapers, and the initial Reapers of ByuN. He does get in. It gets into the main base. Percival is out of position. SCVs are going to go down. Cheeky Musu by ByuN. He gets 1. Gets one SCV, delays the starport, and he's getting more damage. Delaying mining, getting a second SCV, getting a third. Oof. Yeah, 3 SCV kills, and you can see Percival, he races everything back home. And he rushes back home to defend. 4 SCV kills. Not bad. Better start for ByuN. Yeah, better start. Looks like ByuN will lose 1. Yeah, ByuN, he will lose 1 SCV back at home. His Cyclone is out, shuts down the initial Reaper, and we have a second Cyclone on the way. Cyclones just early on, they're powerhouses here, especially when the army supplies are quite low. Defensively, ByuN, he is secure. He's got his 2 Cyclones. Percival, he misses opportunity to counterattack, and as a result, this Reaper Hellion of Percival, it's kind of a waste of supply here. It does not scale well coming into the mid game. Now, there's still potential to maybe go for another counterattack and maybe get into a mineral line, but the chances are getting lower and lower as time goes on. So a better start for ByuN. ByuN, he hits the economy, he shuts down the opener of Percival, and so far so good. I mean, again, ByuN, he has arguably the best TBT in the world. He is one of the reasons why Clem no longer plays TBT. True. He's for those that weren't here a couple of years ago, I say a couple of years, technically last year, and most of 2024, even a bit of 2023, ByuN, he was known as the Clem Crusher, especially in WTL, if you recall. Like, ByuN, he was the sniper. Whenever Team Vitality needed to shut down Clem, it wasn't Maru, it wasn't Sola that would call upon, it was ByuN. Like, ByuN, he would come in to snipe Clem. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Until eventually, Clem said never again. I'm never playing TBT, and it's been over a year. It's been over a year. And Clem was bullied out of TBT. Technically, because of that, and because we have an entire half of the bracket that's purely TBT, ByuN has a decent chance to go far, actually. Fun fact. But it's just purely off of his TBT. But we'll see, of course. Like, both Percival and ByuN and Nicorette, they are, excellent in their own right. Speaking of, 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in, second starport has been thrown down. Percival going for a 2-port 2-base setup here, but this is the more modern variation. If you remember, a couple of years ago, a year ago even, we used to see Mass Viking into Liberator for a 2-base all-in, but this is a more modern variation opening up Raven first. And fun fact, ByuN is doing the same thing. ByuN, he also has a second starport, so same builds. And they miss each other. No shot. Same builds, and they're missing each other. We have Percival going through the center. ByuN, he does slip by. He's making his way towards the natural. We gotta go. We gotta go. ByuN, he's taking it slow. He's taking it slow. He's giving Percival time to get across the map. ByuN, he does hit the production. Percival going right down mid. He's going for the natural, and ByuN, he's late to react, late to respond. And ByuN get potential to be the first to hit. And Percival is moving in. Yeah, ByuN, he has to evacuate, has to give up on the natural. Oh no! The auto turret's nicely done. Does focus on the tank. Yeah, tank goes down, and ByuN, he has almost nothing to defend. Yeah, boys are being thrown away. At the same time, ByuN, he does push in towards the natural. There's a tank on the high ground. Oh my god. Clutch disables. Does ByuN have enough? Does focus on the Liberator. Is pushing in. Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire. No! The repair's not in time. Tank goes down. And it does feel like Percival should have enough. He's got 3 tanks across the map. Meanwhile, ByuN only has 2. But they both came to the production. They both came to the production, and ByuN, he does squeeze out a tank. Percival, he has his own Ravens, though. He has his own disables. Oof. Viking goes down. Miscontrol there by ByuN. Meanwhile, boys are being pulled, trying to force friendly fire. These Ravens, there's no energy. There's no energy. There's no auto turrets. The boys are killing the tanks. They're doing it. They drill down the tanks. Speaking of, ByuN trying to do the same. Yeah, trying to, but they're Marines. Trying to force friendly fire. Oh my god. Marines are going down, but Percival, he's on it. Percival, he's on it. GG gets called, and Percival, he comes out on top of the base trade, and we'll take a 1-0 lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Percival does take a lead here. Again, very chaotic game here. And remember, ByuN was the first to hit, but ByuN was taking it slow. ByuN, he was slowly sieging up outside of the base. Why? Because he didn't know where Percival was. Right? He didn't know that Percival was also across the map. He didn't know that a base trade was about to begin. So yes, ByuN, he did get across the map first, but it took him longer to actually assert himself into the bases. So ByuN, he was later to react, later to respond. Oh. Later to react, later to respond, and as a result, we do see that Percival, he was able to force his way into the bases, have that much of a better army as well, able to catch out the first couple of tanks, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Percival takes a 1-0 lead, and now we're getting into game 2. And again, that was a very chaotic game where we had mirrored builds, and again, ByuN had the better start. ByuN, he was able to kill SCVs, he defended against the Reaper Hellion. ByuN did have the better start, he was in a better position, but alas, when it all did matter most, Percival, he clutched it out. Did clutch it out, and here we go. We're jumping into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet. We have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran, the South Korean Terran, leading the series 1-0. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself representing Team Vitality. It is ByuN. Go. We can claim ByuN for making Clem a dirty race picker. I don't know if I'd call Clem a race picker. I feel like I could be mistaken, but in my mind, when I think of someone that is a quote-unquote race picker, it means that they have options when it comes to what race they're going to play in a matchup. I don't feel like Clem has options, right? Like, again, he has not played a TVT in over a year. He's not going to. Like he doesn't have like different race options against Terran. He's gonna play Protoss, right? Same with against Zerg and against Protoss. He's gonna play Terran, so he's not the kind of player to like mix it up, right? And like it's like, oh, is he gonna play Protoss or Terran? Like, no, you know coming into it. Ay. But here we go. Here we go. ByuN, he does move out. Does come in for the early scouts. This time we do see a single gas opener at a Percival going for a faster CC, and ByuN doing the same. Great minds think alike. Remember, last game both players went for double gas openers. Game 2, both players go for Rax expands. So economic starts, economic follow-ups. Players are building up. And we'll see when we do have our initial deviations. Speaking of, Percival does open up with a single Reaper into Marine production, preserving his gas, going for an earlier factory. Meanwhile, ByuN goes for additional Reapers, delaying his factory as a result. Okay. So we do have a slight variation here. We kind of touched on this last game, but the more Reaper Hellion you make early on, like the more pressure there is for you to get some damage done. So we'll see when and where ByuN stops, as he does make 2 Reapers initially. He makes 2, he moves out. So far, Percival does maintain himself. You can see he's ready at the Reaper Cliff. Ready at the cliff face. Oh, ByuN back at home going for a very fast third CC. Okay, so hyper greed out of ByuN rushing into the third CC. If Percival goes for a 2-base all-in like we saw last game, he could just insta-win. We'll see how aggressive Percival's going to be. I mean, did go for an economic start, to be fair. Following up with Ravens. And again, it's a big gamble here from ByuN. We'll see if he can get away with it. They got him that bad. So ByuN is setting up. He is building up initial Reaper Hellion for early game map control, but as you mentioned, just because of Percival's setup, I don't really see this Reaper Hellion doing much damage. Percival building up his Cyclones. Third base is now done. ByuN. With this does mean that ByuN, he'll be able to saturate his 2 bases that much faster and his 3 bases that much faster as well, if he can land his third. The pressure is going to be on Percival soon to deny and to delay the third base. We'll see if he can. As Percival just now throws down his own third. So again, no 2-base all in this time. There's no second starport. There's no hyper aggression. But that doesn't mean that Percival's going to be passive. He just has to figure out what's going on. Once Percival sees that the third base and the orbital is already morphed in, that should prompt him to move out. And the scout should come from these ravens. As the third base is already being landed, ravens are moving in. There's the scan. Scan doesn't see the command center. But the ravens... Oh, not yet.
Research.
Scan gets eyes on the production. I should say, I didn't see all of the main. Yeah, ravens are not fully aware. Going for the mineral line. Going for the SCVs, at least trying to. Nice disable. Seeing the fact that there was only a 1-1-1, seeing the fact that there was no second racks or factor or anything else made, I think he knows. And personally, should be aware that the third base is already done. Just because of the massive delay on the rest of the production. So Percival, he didn't see the third, but seeing the lack of production told him what he needed to know. So Percival, he's aware.
Add-on complete.
At least he has all the scouting to tell him that, at least. As he's working on an earlier stim timing, building up his army. ByuN is the first to move out. He scans, he spots a third.
Mineral field depleted.
And ByuN trying to contain Percival here. With a very flimsy army, by the way. He pulls it off. Does force Percival back for a moment. So nice move out of ByuN. Again, ByuN, he by no means could take the fight. No shot. He could not take the fight. Just pokes in, delays, gets the hell out of there. So nice feign there by ByuN. And here comes Percival. Bearing in mind, again, he does have stim over his opponent. Jumping in towards a third. ByuN, he does scouts. He reacts, and he's here in time. Goes to the double disable. I feel like one of them was a bit of a waste, but so far is keeping up with the drops. And then Reaper is deflected. So far, so good. ByuN is keeping up. Double drop into the main. Oh! Is spotted. And ByuN can disable. He has the energy. Last of the unload. Oh my god. Jesus. Barely saves the Raven. Saves the Raven. No boost. Oh, the medevac. Oh my god. Barely gets away. The main army's moving in. Percival. Can he catch ByuN out? Percival the first to siege. ByuN does scan. Does scan in time. Medevacs, they did get away. Now, bearing in mind that Percival, he still has some fresh Ravens here. He has plenty of energy. ByuN does not. ByuN, he spent, what, 4 disables on those medevacs. But Percival, he pulls away. ByuN, he gets away with a CC on location once again. Okay. I mean, both players are. But ByuN, he holds. He holds, he keeps up. Once again, zoning Percival back. He's gathering energy on those Ravens. Percival, Viking production has begun. These are the Ravens. Nice armor missile. Yeah, shreds the armor. The tanks are the first to siege, and tank bullies. Oh, they do zone away. Oof, oh my god. Brutal connections. Percival is slowly pushing forward, getting within range of the tanks. The counter disables. ByuN, he gets 1, he gets 2. It barely takes down 2 tanks. Nice moves out of ByuN. Get a nice counterplay. As ByuN, he peels off some Marines. Tempted to go for the counterattack. At the same time, so is Percival. And goes to the Doom Drop. Gets within range, does force a lift up, will lose a tank, but there's still one more behind this. That's a lot of Marines. Yeah, first of all, catching reinforcements, better trade for the blue Terran. Rushing in, getting another tank at the same time, kills the CC. ByuN, he does find some damage. Oh, the tanks though, the tanks are exposed. It's gonna be three tanks going down, massive pickoffs. ByuN, he plummets in supply. As he's racing back, can he catch at the medevacs? He's trying to, but alas, doesn't catch the medevacs. ByuN, he will collapse on the tank at least. And as the dust settles, where exactly are we? So ByuN, he's up a base. Remember, he killed the fourth. He's up in expansion. At the same time, when it comes to the tank count is even. 3 tanks versus 3. You have a Marine lead for ByuN. More Vikings for Percival. Likewise, he also has that one Raven. Ooh, Raven goes down. A nice snipe. But that Viking lead, it just bullies the Vikings. 2 Vikings go down for free. Percival, he has air control. And with that air control, he's going into Liberators. Nice moves here by Percival. Just dominating the skies. Sims in, gets another tank. Getting another. Oh, not quite. Again, all good moves here by ByuN. Trying to avoid the army. We going for the base trade? do we go for it again? I mean, there is a planetary, but nice moves. Percival, he does slip by. Catching reinforcements at the same time. ByuN, he does go straight for the third even. Nice tank shots. Marines are still catching reinforcements. Oh, miss rally there by ByuN. Rallying to the army. Liberators, they do siege up. They zone away the tanks. No target find, but he should at least get one. Not even. Well, the tanks do get away. And again, we're getting messy. I would say that Percival has had more efficient trades when it comes to the main army, but at the same time, ByuN has had a better base, a better economy, and can afford those trades. So ByuN gets one more tank. But ByuN, he may lose this army. Never mind, ByuN, he breaks down all those Liberators. Takes down 2 more Libs. ByuN, he wants that tank, he gets it. Barely gets the tank. We're getting messy. But again, ByuN, he's still up a mineral line. He's still up a base. And maintaining this position means that Percival can't expand. He just cannot get that fourth. Percival instead going for the counterattack. He wants that mineral line. Tanks, they should be within range. And tanks are moving in. Will siege up within range. Denies mining. And do we just avoid each other? Do we just what's the plan? Where are we going? ByuN will siege up his tanks, but Percival, he does find his way into the natural, and we're going for the base trade. We commit. He commits across the map. We have Mass Marine moving in. Trying to get on top of the tanks. Gets 3. It takes down all 3 tanks, just barely. But not the best trade here by ByuN. But he does get behind the mineral line. Yeah, it denies mining. Percival stuck with a 1 base economy, if even that. Does get back to mining though. Percival dropping into the main. Claiming another expansion, okay. Percival finally getting a 4th. Planetary is done. ByuN, he supply blocked. Uh-oh. He supply blocked. No mining in the center. Spy army is an issue. Again, we're getting messy. ByuN, he does find some damage though. Taking down these tanks does free up his mineral line. So ByuN is back to mining. At the same time, Liberator does defend back at home. Tanks are somewhat exposed. Ooh, losing a full medevac though. Losing 2. Wow, 2 full medevacs go down. Doesn't get a single tank. Percival misjudging here. Does misjudge, and now these tanks are exposed. There's no support. ByuN is coming in, and ByuN, that's 4 free tanks, like quote unquote free, but ByuN, he will clean this up. Yeah, nice cleanup here. Every tank goes down. Percival, though, he still has an army. Down in tanks. But Percival moves in. He's got his one Liberator. Does siege up. ByuN, he cannot take down the Lib. And Percival, he may have just done it. He may have just done it here. He gets a full mineral line Marines. They get into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. ByuN, he's choked up. He can't move down. He's trying to. Oh my god, brutal trades. Yeah, some brutal trades here by ByuN. And again, Percival, I think he has done it here. 17 SCV kills. Percival, he traded so well here, just punishing that ramp, punishing those tanks.